Street fights are unpredictable, unlike in the ring where rules and security are in place. However, many people lack knowledge on how to handle conflicts on the streets. Here are common mistakes in street fights that can jeopardize your safety. Thinking that there will be a winner. A prevalent error during street fights is the misconception that there will be a winner. But what exactly is there to win? There are no medals or trophies on the street, no nations to defend like in ongoing conflicts like those in Palestine or Ukraine. Even if you win, all you achieve is injuring someone and potentially facing legal consequences. If you lose, you might sustain permanent injuries without guaranteed medical care, and you'll end up spending money for unnecessary conflict-related medical expenses. Let's say you're wealthy or have health insurance to cover those costs. Still, in street fights, the risks go beyond physical harm. There's a more severe possibility: losing your life. No insurance or money can bring you back to life. Remember the family waiting at home, your partner, and friends who still want to have fun with you. So the best advice for street fights from me is to avoid them. The first thought in your mind should be to escape. Pulling your punches. Trained individuals in combat often don't know how to strike and typically pull their punches upon impact. Essentially, this means they direct their punches to stop at the surface of their target. This technique is even taught in some martial arts. In Shotokan karate, strikes and attacks strictly end a few inches from your opponent. This poses a danger from a self-defense perspective because it ingrains the habit of striking in this manner. To strike effectively, you need to punch teeth through the target, directing a few inches below the surface. This is how you develop powerful punches that can penetrate. The best way to learn to punch correctly is by using a punching bag. Striking a tangible object allows you to feel the strength of your punches and determine whether your punching technique is genuinely sound. The adrenaline dump. Most untrained fighters are ill-prepared for the adrenaline dump that occurs at the beginning of a fight. When the body releases a surge of adrenaline in preparation for physical conflict, has several advantages. It serves to dull pain and can provide a mental and physical boost, temporarily making us stronger and highly focused. However, it also comes with some drawbacks. Vision becomes more focused on the threat, meaning peripheral vision starts to close. You might not see an opponent moving to attack you from the side. Only rough movements become possible. The body gears up to either flee or fight. Hands and feet gain extra power to respond, but the cost is that any delicate motor movement becomes harder to execute. You won't be able to pull off intricate 10-point death moves like your martial arts heroes do in movies. You need continuous realistic combat training in the dojo to get accustomed to the adrenaline dump, to learn how your body responds and how to overcome it. Closing eyes when punching. For various reasons, untrained fighters often close their eyes when throwing punches. I'm unsure if this stems from a childlike response, "What I can't see can't hurt me," or if it's a form of a defensive reaction. Regardless, if you're not focused on the target, you won't be able to direct your punches accurately. And of course, you won't see incoming counterattacks. Poor stance. Frequently, an untrained fighter's stance is characterized by holding the hands too low, around chest height. This leaves the head vulnerably exposed. It also means that punches thrown are more likely to originate from the shoulder rather than involving the whole body, making them less powerful. This combines with the tendency to keep the head high. Somehow an untrained fighter's head is lifted and tilted away from the opponent. I believe this is done to try to keep the head as far away as possible from the attacker. However, it's dangerous as it leaves the chin exposed. You need to tuck the chin to the neck and raise the hands so that they also protect the jaw area. This is the most vulnerable part of the head. A clean punch to the jaw is enough to knock you out. Turning your back. It's a natural human reaction to turn away from danger, but doing so in a fight almost guarantees injury or even death. Many untrained fighters will turn their backs when faced with a defensive attack. This exposes the kidney area and the back of the head to brutal strikes. If the fight goes to the ground, turning your back is a disaster. It also gives the opponent a chance to execute a rear naked choke. You'd be lucky to come out of that situation alive. You must learn to face your opponent so you can see threats coming and react accordingly. The use of high kicks. Let's be clear, high kicks should be reserved for martial arts movies. An untrained fighter shouldn't attempt high kicks. Most martial artists spend years perfecting high kicks to deliver powerful strikes without losing balance. When an untrained fighter tries a high kick, they'll likely fall. The fight ends there. Headhunting. Most untrained fighters will focus on the opponent's head as the primary target and ignore other body parts. The head is actually a challenging area to attack. You're likely to hit solid bone. If you land a punch on someone's forehead, you might end up with a broken hand. There are easier targets. The groin, the heart and kidney area, the solar plexus, shins, floating ribs, etc. Certainly, the head can be a target. If you land a powerful punch on the nose, the fight might end right there. But don't forget other vulnerable areas of the body. Throwing haymakers. The untrained fighter will throw big looping haymakers. It's a reflection of our evolution that almost anyone can throw this type of punch with little to no training. It's almost like an instinct. It's a very simple type of punch that essentially involves swinging your arm towards the aggressor like a giant club. They are powerful, so that if they connect they are likely to result in a knockout. However, they are also quite slow and are easily telegraphed to the opponent. This allows them to be blocked or avoided altogether. Once thrown, if they miss, they are likely to throw the individual off balance, enabling a barrage of counter strikes to follow. Moving backwards. Many untrained fighters move backwards when faced with an advancing aggressor. It's very difficult to throw a punch or a kick whilst moving backwards. Moving backwards also means you can't see where you're going, meaning you could end up tripping over something. Instead of moving backwards, you should circle as they advance, moving to the side of your opponent. You've then turned a defensive maneuver into an opportunity to attack. Stepping to the side exposes the side of your opponent's body, allowing you to strike to the head or kidney area. Most street fights are over in a matter of seconds, as soon as one decisive strike lands on target. Most untrained fighters just aren't aware of the extreme danger they're in. Be aware of the knife. There are no rules in a street fight. More times than not, the aggressor is going to carry a weapon of some type. The conflict may start off as a fist fight, but before you know it, a weapon may be pulled out and you'll end up in a pool of your own blood. The trouble is with your reduced narrowed vision and reduced pain sensitivity as a result of the adrenaline dump. You won't even see the knife being drawn, much less feel it slashing your body. Many knife victims report that they didn't even realize they'd been stabbed. In conclusion, a street fight or a public confrontation occurs in an area where there are endless probabilities and possibilities that increase with the randomness of life. In Maryland, professional boxer Danny Kelly, he won 10 times and knocked out his opponent 9 times. And you know what? He was shot and killed while he was with his girlfriend and 3 children. While we do not know what the motive was, it is a grave reminder that these streets are a whole different beast compared to the ring or arena. And assuming that your opponent has a similar mentality and understanding as you is a terrible mistake. Famous Navy SEAL Jocko Willink, who's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, was once asked what he would do in a street fight, and despite being well acquainted with the ways of violence, he simply replied that he would run, and only if an attacker were to grab hold of him or corner him, he will do what he needed to do.
If you come to me and you want to fight me, and you like square off like in a boxing stance, I can run away from you, right? I can just run away. I can just run away. I'm gonna get away from you. I don't want to fight you. If you want to kick me, I can run away from you. Like there's my primary self-defense is I'm just gonna run away from you. When you grab a hold of me, now everything's different. I can't run away anymore. Now I have to actually know how to handle myself in a grappling situation. So that's why I start with jiu-jitsu. And look, absolutely, learn boxing, learn Muay Thai, and learn wrestling. Absolutely, no doubt about it. But the very first thing you need to learn is because if you want to fight me, I can run away. If you square off and you put your dukes up and say, come on, or you push me, good, I'm running away. That's fine. I'll take that. But as soon as you grab a hold of me, now I got a problem because I can't run away anymore.
The real problem is the ego, where people don't know how to fight, and
When embroiled in such a situation, the sole objective is to do whatever it takes to remove oneself from that situation. If a peaceful option is available yet, one prefers to make things worse due to pride in his fighting abilities, it is a major folly and can produce disastrous consequences. I appreciate you sticking around until this point. Feel free to share your experiences and advice regarding street fights in the comments. Let's learn from each other, grow to become a better person, and foster a supportive community. Together, we can build strength and resilience. See you on the next video.